Joining me right now, GOP presidential candidate and former governor of our great state, Governor Rick Perry. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. It's good to be in West Texas. Everything is good in my world. Thank you.
Well, excellent. Glad to have you on. Of course, you'll be in Lubbock at a private fundraiser this evening. And wanted to start off and talk about the rollout of your campaign. Just about every pundit out there said it was a great speech, that you had a great event that you had in Addison. Then immediately you hit the road and you were back in Iowa. And you just seem very energized about this campaign and about this rollout. How does your energy level and the campaign rollout this time compare to the last time you ran for president?
Well, it's about 180 degrees different, I guess. We're healthy, we're prepared, and really focused on this effort. You know, we had major back surgery. We hadn't done the preparatory work. And frankly, having the added job of running the most successful state in the nation is quite a distraction. If you'll recall, in I think early September, we had a major fire in Bastrop, Texas. 1,600 homes lost, and 60,000 acres or so burned up. Those types of, you got a real day job. This time, my real day job is to run for the presidency of the United States, and I think people are already seeing a substantial difference in preparation, focus, energy level, as you call it, which is reflection of being very healthy. And so I'm excited about where we are. It was a great rollout, standing on the stage with legitimate American heroes with a great C-130 aircraft in the background to remind people about how important not just executive leadership, but that time spent as a military pilot, as the commander-in-chief of the Texas National Guard for 14 years, how all of that together, nobody can touch Texas from the standpoint of job creation. And when you stack these candidates up, I'll put my record up against anyone. And I want to bring to America that executive leadership. I want to bring that focus on job creation. I want to bring that focus on that America can again be a powerful influence in the world. Let America be America again is our message to this country and, for that matter, to the world.
We're visiting with a Republican presidential candidate, Rick Perry, here on the Chad Hasty Show. You brought up executive experience. This is something that you have been mentioning over and over again when giving speeches, and about how important it is to have that executive experience going into the White House. Are you hearing from people on the ground in Iowa, in New Hampshire, in South Carolina, in the places that you've been? Are you hearing the same thing, that they want someone with executive experience? Because you have just so many people running right now, and the fresh faces from the Senate that are running. It is a debate point. Who do you want? Do you want someone with the executive experience, or do you want the fresh face in the crowd?
Well, it is a legitimate conversation to have. I tell people that when you get on an aircraft and fly halfway around the world, don't you want the most experienced person sitting in the front left seat? If you have a major procedure, let's say heart surgery, don't you want the absolute best, most experienced heart surgeon that you can find? Why would it be any different when you can have a very experienced, proven leader who's managed the 12th largest economy in the world and done it very successfully, I might add. He created more jobs than any other state in the nation from 2007 through 2014, 1.5 million, while the rest of the country lost 400,000 jobs. Isn't that the type of leadership, isn't that type of experience that you want? And I do hear it over and over. And people recognize that we have some incredibly brilliant, capable orators, senators, people who really know how to give a great speech. But they reflect back over the last 6.5 years, and we took a chance on a young, inexperienced United States senator who didn't have any experience of running anything, had no executive experience, and this country's paying an extraordinary price from an economic standpoint, from a foreign affairs standpoint, where our standing in the world has really fallen back. Our allies don't know whether they can trust us. Our adversaries don't respect us. And I will suggest it's because we elected a president in 2008 who for the last 6.5 years has been on-the-job training and, quite frankly, doing a rather poor job economically and from a foreign policy standpoint. So the Republican primary voter looks at that and you know what? We got some really great talent here, young individuals who are doing a great job in the United States Senate. But one of our choices over here is a seasoned veteran, and not only a veteran of the United States military, but also a veteran of running the 12th largest economy. That really matters, and I think it's going to be a point of debate that I'm ready to have across this country. And as we stand up and talk about, here's our vision for America, here's the positive vision for America, get this country back working again, using our energy resources, lowering that corporate tax rate, create a manufacturing renaissance in this country like we've never seen before. And it's not just talk, Chad. We have a track record of doing exactly that in the state of Texas over the last 14 years.
Visiting with Republican presidential candidate Rick Perry here on the show. I want to ask you about at least one, maybe two issues that are facing the president right now, the current president, and how a President Perry would take on these challenges. Fixing the economy. The Democrats like to talk about how the economy is on a rebound. You probably hear it on the campaign trail. Most people aren't feeling that. How would a President Perry fix the economy?
Well, you're absolutely correct. When you look from 2007, the start of 2008 through 2014, the country lost 400,000 jobs. They haven't recovered those jobs except in one state, and that's Texas, of course. And as I said earlier, 1.5 million jobs we helped create. And the same thing that worked in Texas will work in this country. You have a tax structure that is burdensome. You have Dodd-Frank banking regulations that are strangling small community banks. So there are three areas in particular where you very quickly can start affecting this economy. And one is to open up our energy resources. North America has more fossil fuels than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. So Canada, the United States, and Mexico open up the XL pipeline, develop our energy resources. You drive down the cost of electricity when you do that because of an abundance of that energy being developed. Then lowering corporate tax rate, got the highest corporate tax rate in the Western world. And that is a powerful incentive to manufacturers to come back on shore. You can create a huge manufacturing renaissance in this country over that period of time. So economically, you can very quickly get this country back on track, and to devolve a lot of this power back out of Washington, D.C. to the states. When this health care law is found to be unconstitutional, which I suspect it will be over the course of the next 30 days, the states are who are going to come up with the ideas about how best to deliver health care. It doesn't need to be done in Washington, D.C., no more so than the curriculum for our students and our schools need to come out of Washington, D.C. That's why I'm against Common Core, Chad, is that Washington thinking that they are the fount of all wisdom is really at the core of a challenge that we have in this country. Let the states compete against each other. Let them come up with the best way to deliver health care, the best way to educate their children. And states will, from time to time, a state's going to make a mistake and they're going to err and their citizens are going to be hurt from it, but by and large, this country will flourish without Washington restricting how states manage their resources, whether it's health care, whether it's transportation infrastructure, or whether it's the children that are going to be the next skilled workforce that we have in this country. So economically, that would be a great change for this country to have somebody who already has a track record of creating jobs and getting people back to work and creating wealth.
Visiting with Republican presidential candidate Rick Perry here on the Chad Hasty Show. You're here in Lubbock tonight. Where are you traveling to afterwards?
Well, we're headed down to Houston unless the tropical storm gets in the way, and we'll be spending a few more days in the state. We're headed up to Washington for a faith and family event on Saturday. So good, steady travel schedule. The rollout was incredible, as you said. We moved on to Iowa and New Hampshire and South Carolina over the ensuing days, had great crowds out there, people really responding to our positive message about the economy, and obviously wanting someone in the White House that has that experience from the military standpoint, supporting our veterans.
Governor Perry, we appreciate your time today, and we look forward to visiting with you throughout this campaign.
We will do it, Chad. Godspeed, brother.
Have a good one. That's Republican presidential candidate Rick Perry here on the Chad Hasty Show. Hope you had a fantastic day. We'll see you tomorrow here on the Chad Hasty Show. If you missed any of the interview there with Rick Perry, we'll have that up on the website later on this morning. And then Rick Perry also will be on with Robert Pratt later on this evening at right around 5 o'clock or so. So tune in for that.